So once upon a time, in a forest not far from here, it was called the Forest of Big Dreams. There were a lot of animals who had big dreams. That's why it was called the Forest of Big Dreams. And the animals who had big dreams started trying to build their big dreams. There was a beaver who was really an activist. He was tired of the pollution in the water and wanted there to be a giant social justice, environmental activism center where everyone could get together and prevent any more logging from happening and protect the rivers. And so Beaver was building that, his giant social, but the problem is Beaver all alone, he was trying really hard. He was building with all of the materials that he had, his mud and his wood, and it just didn't ever get very big and no one ever showed up. Now at the same time, in another part of the woods, there was Bluebird. And Bluebird was just, you know how bluebirds are, they just love to dance and sing, and she was enjoying that. And she was also wanting a place where she could just gather with all of her friends in a cozy nest. And it would be like a home away from home, where they could all be together and enjoy themselves. And so she started building her nest, and she was bringing all the twigs and all of the moss and everything that she needed to build her nest. And it never really got all that big, building that nest all by herself, and really only she could fit in it. But then in another part of the forest, there were bees, and the bees, they just wanted to feed everyone. They wanted to just have a place where you could just come and there would be food for all. And they worked hard, they worked really, really hard to make all of this honey to feed everyone, but still, even with just as many hard-working bees as they could muster, they still could only feed themselves. And now you can imagine there were lots of other animals in the forest who also wanted to build big dreams. There were hyenas. I don't know how hyenas got into the forest, but they were there. And they wanted to have a big place where you could have a party that everybody could come to, like a giant social hall where everyone could gather and just have fun whenever they needed to. All of the animals of the forest had these big dreams. Squirrel wanted a place. Squirrel would bring all the acorns and stuff them in, and wanted a place where like all of the acorns from everywhere could be gathered forever, and it would be like a memory vault that would just keep the memories of the community all there forever and ever. That's right. And that was Squirrel. And Worm, Bookworm, was actually his nickname. Bookworm wanted to just have a place where learning could happen, like a giant citadel of education, but not just like a normal school, like somewhere where people could learn about the things that mattered most to them. Now all these animals, they tried to build on their own, but nothing ever came of their big dreams on their own. But luckily, Owl, the wisest animal of the woods. Owl watched all of them from high up in her tree, and she saw everyone trying to build these big dreams, and one night she called a meeting. She goes, "Hoo! Hoo!" And all of the animals came and gathered around Owl's big tree. And Owl sat them down in a circle, and she said, "Look, here's how it is. Each of us alone, we can't do it. You struggle to build your big dreams, and they just, they're nice, but they're not really the dreams, are they?" And the animals shook their heads. No, I really wanted to build something bigger. And Owl said, "Well, then here's what we're going to do. Bluebird, that nest." And Bluebird brought down her nest. And Owl took it and said, "I'm going to pass this nest around the circle. And everybody here is going to put your dreams in the nest. But not only that, you're going to put all of your talents, everything you know how to do. You're going to put your time. You're going to put your treasure. You're going to put your resources, everything you've got, at least some of it. And this is only going to work if everybody contributes really something meaningful, a lot of what you have. And then we can build that giant social justice meaning center where people can be fed and everybody can have a second home where everyone's comfortable and fits around the circle, and we learn about the things that are most meaningful to us." And so they passed around the basket. And I bet you can guess what happened next. We're going to take the offertory now, in the spirit of those animals of Big Dreams Woods.